What is up? Welcome into the Daily Buckeye Blitz for Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. I'm your host, Joe from the Buckeye Cast. We had interviews with the entire coaching staff yesterday. Boom. That was awesome. So lots of stuff to get into. I pulled out some highlights that really I think are important to us as far as what's happening kicking off spring ball here in a few weeks. So let's start with Ryan Day's quotes. Most importantly, who is out for spring? So these players are all not going to play in spring, okay? Most of them, are due to injury. Some surgeries had to take place. So wide receiver Julian Fleming, wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, linebacker Tommy Eichenberg, running back Travion Henderson, defensive end linebacker Mitchell Melton, running back Evan Pryor, center Jacob James, and safety Court Williams. So all those guys are out. Won't see them for a long time later this year. Let's talk about Brian Hartline. They said it'll be exciting to see what Hartline can do as an offensive coordinator. He also said that there hasn't been a decision yet regarding who will call the plays for the offense coming up next year, but they are going to go through spring. He's going to set up scenarios where Hardline will make the calls. I imagine he'll be calling the spring game, but definitely in practice, Hardline will be in spring anyways, making the play calls. So it'll be a feeling out process. It's one of those things you can't just pick up or learn without doing it. You got to get your hands in there. You got to, he knows the play sheet probably, but you got to get a feel for the game. That's what Ryan Day's strength is calling plays. It's an artistry to it. So Brian Hartline, let's see if he can pick up that same innate ability, to call plays in a game flow. So offensive line. Ryan Day did give us some clarity on positions, who's going where. So he says the plan right now is to leave Matt Jones at the right guard and Donovan Jackson at the left guard. So no moving Donovan Jackson out to tackle or anything like that. No moving Matt Jones to center. He says Carson Hinsman is coming on at center. So what does that mean, coming on? I tell you what I think it is. I don't think it has to do with football, though. Anyway, Carson Hinsman, if he can, as a second-year guy, if he can snag that center position, that'd be awesome. But you also got Vic Cutler, who just came in the transfer portal, so he adds depth, if not actually pushing for the starting job. Jacob James, since he's not going to participate in spring at all due to surgery, what does that leave us? Where does he land in that group of three? So, and does that put him behind if he's, missing the 15 practices in spring? So, interesting to see what center position, what happens there. He also said that Tegra is going to move to tackle permanently. So he must have been, cross training at guard and tackle in practice. He said, and then you got Zen Mahalski and George Fitzpatrick at tackle. So it sounds to me like those three guys will be in the mix for one of those tackle positions, whether it's left or right. And then Josh Fryer will take the other side, obviously. So let's see what else. He talked about having James Laurinaitis on the staff. He said it's exciting to have James here. He's now our sixth former player on staff here. That's amazing. 6. He said Laurinaitis is like Hartline in a lot of ways, specifically on how he and Hartline both shared long careers in the NFL. It makes them valuable assets on the staff and based on what they've learned at every level of the sport. Let's talk Jim Knowles and the defense quickly. Not a great finish to the season there, Jim. He says, going into year 2, I've got to be more demanding with the players on the preciseness of their techniques. Okay. Knowles said the linebackers saw the most significant improvement from one position group from week 1 to the Peach Bowl. So the linebackers made the most improvement. I believe that. Let's talk about the front seven. He said, I thought we held up at the front, but I want to see us take the next step to become more dominant across the board in these big games. He said the front seven will continue to be a strength for the defense, and that the defensive backfield will continue to develop and also become a strength. So he expects the defense to be better next season because of his staff, and now he has the entire season to install defensive formations and game plans and teach players how to fit within the system to get the most out of their talent. Let's talk about Brian Hartline. He said the young receivers have an opportunity to prove that they belong this year in the same way that Harrison and Egbuka did in 2022. He said the wide receivers are the hardest working position group on the team, and it shows during practice and games. He also said that the wide receivers need to get on the same page as Kyle McCord and Devin Brown, because he believes it's a wide receiver's responsibility to make the quarterback's job easier, not vice versa. I would agree with that. That's a good outlook to have. Hartline said that Corey Dennis, Justin Fry, Keenan Bailey, and Tony Alford all make his job much easier as he handles the offensive coordinator duties. So he expects that the offense will run smoothly going forward. Not that it wasn't, honestly, but anyway. Tony Alford just had a little blurb. He said that Chip Trayanum will remain at running back. So that will give us our 5 running backs needed to keep that room full, and probably tells you that Evan Pryor is still going to be on the mend over the next few months. May not be ready for week 1 of the season is what it tells me. So I would not look for Evan Pryor to crack that top 3. He might be probably number 4 or 5 in the depth chart right now. So side note, I'll talk about it tomorrow. Just a teaser. Not really. I wasn't trying to tease that, but we do have a D-line announcement on the coaching staff. So I'll save that for tomorrow. But anyways, check it out. Tune in tomorrow. Hit subscribe, please. You'll get notified as soon as that goes up. And I appreciate you as always. Go Bucks.